Hey guys, welcome to this episode. In this one, I'm going to be talking about the most dangerous advice on LinkedIn and then what's losing you tons of money because so many people follow this advice. It's insane. But if you don't know me, my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called Seven Figure Creators where we help either business owners earn 5+ warm leads a month or creators make their first 10K a month. And we're about to release our new program to help creators go from six figures to seven figures as well. But let's just get kicked into it. So the most dangerous advice on LinkedIn, and then what's losing the most amount of creators, the most amount of money, is when everybody on the feed listens to copywriters giving advice on sales. Now, before you get all up in arms, I love copywriters. I love copywriting. I got a lot of friends who are copywriters. There's a lot of copywriters in our program. Copywriting is amazing. It's selling one to many, right? It's different than selling one-to-one or to a group or whatever it is. But copywriters, again, are amazing. But copywriters' advice on sales, a lot of the time, is absolute trash. Like, I have read posts from people with nearly 100,000 followers saying, I don't follow up. People should come to me. Like, they'll also say, don't DM because you're going to come across salesy. They'll also say, you only need content to get you leads. Now, let's talk about a few things here because it's honestly laughable for me. The people that are giving you this advice, there's a few reasons why they're giving you this advice. Reason one, they've never done sales and their only experience with sales is cringy sales and people sending them cold DMs. So their perception of sales is of a negative thing. They can't perceive how someone can cold reach out to someone and have somebody else excited for them to respond to them. So they can't perceive how that would happen and thank them for responding to them. So they just deem it as bad. The second reason is they're usually selling copywriting. And for some reason, marketing and sales, copywriting and sales goes at odds to each other, even though it's complementary. That's how I'm able to make $37.50 per follower per year compared to Justin Welsh, which only makes about $3, right? For example, because I have a way massive following. No shit on him. He's built an amazing business. Love what he does, but your follower to dollar ratio is what matters, right? If you just rely on content and you don't do the sales part and you listen to copywriters, you're just going to be getting the incorrect advice. The third thing that actually really ticks me off, and this is more of like an ignorance thing from these copywriters' standpoint, is that if somebody is on LinkedIn and they have 50,000, 100,000, or 150,000 followers, right? What's happening is they actually have a really high, we'll call it social credit or social equity score. And because they are considered such an expert in their field and they have authority, right? Which one of Dr. Robert Cialdini's seven rules of influence and persuasion is authority. So it's a big one. Because they have such a high level of authority, their sales process actually becomes a lot easier because they only deal with inbounds, right? And because they only deal with inbounds, their sales process or the way they sell isn't actually optimal, but it doesn't need to be because they're over leveraged on the trust and authority. So what's actually happening is they think that they're good at sales because they're selling to people, but there's a couple of things that are happening. One is they're not actually good at sales. They're only working with the very tiny, minute percentage of the market that's actually interested in their thing. The second thing is they're making nowhere near as much money as they should be because they're not having conversations with the other 95% of people that would be willing and ready to buy their stuff because they don't want to come across salesy. So they're posting this content out of like hubris, being like, I'm the best, like I made 100 grand this year, like whatever, right? Like, I just make friends with people in the DMs, right? But you don't understand, like the advice that you're giving to people from the position that you're in an advantaged position compared to other people. So the advice that you're giving them is not the advice that you should be following for yourself. It's completely different. And you're also massively under monetizing and you're bragging about it, which is hectic. Like I even think I'm massively under monetizing right now myself. And I'm making probably 10 times more than what these people are actually making, genuinely. Like we're doing $1.3 million a year now, like 100% organic content and DMs, right? Like, and I just started a newsletter in this podcast, right? I don't even have it. This is just from DMing, but they're massively under monetizing. So they have like an inflated sense of ego and inflated sense of self because they have so many followers and they get so much attention. They get such this dopamine loop that happens over and over and over again. And because of this dopamine loop, they start giving advice on something like sales because they do sales all the time. But the problem is you're selling from an unfair advantage point. It's like saying that, why, like, let's say Elon Musk, his sales process that he has, or to raise money, is the advice you're going to give to him is not the advice you're going to give to like some first Series A software founder that's going to raise money. It's not the same advice. And that's a massive issue because these copywriters are writing from their frame of reference, which is 50, 100, 150,000 followers, on how to sell, but their experience of selling is going to be completely different because they're starting at a much higher trust point. And that's why they keep pushing the content, right? And a lot of them as well also jumped on the bandwagon of LinkedIn early. So they also, because they got in early, they got the first movers advantage. And they, like, I think I got first movers advantage as well. I'm not saying that everyone else has, but they got the first movers advantage. And because they're shooting so far ahead now in the content game, they think they can give advice on sales because they can sell shit too. But actually, they're just earning 1/10 of the income of what they could be. And they're giving shitty advice because they haven't actually had it, which is just it's actually kind of like crazy to me as well. Like, you can see examples of stuff like this happening where you bet you've come across those people on LinkedIn who have like 30,000 followers, but they get like 5 likes, right? It's because they got on the LinkedIn platform when the content game wasn't competitive. So they were able to boost their following and boost their likes. Maybe they bought followers, right? I haven't actually heard of someone doing that on LinkedIn, but they were able to boost their followers because the competition was extremely low. So they didn't need to be good. And then what's happened now is because their content game hasn't caught up. Their content is actually bad now. They blame the algorithm. They blame all the shit, but they didn't actually improve in their skill set. And that's the same as what these creators are happening. And these are the creators that I want to target and that I want to work with. I'm not kind of shitting on them right now, but like, they don't know because they don't know. It's not their fault. And that's why every time I've worked with like a creator, especially one, and why we're bringing out a high ticket offer to work with creators who earn 6 figures to take them to 7 figures per year, because it's not that hard. Like, they're actually just missing these absolute core things within their business, especially a sales process, how to do lead generation, how to have conversations, how to build their operations, how to do their sales and funnels, and also how to build a delivery mechanism so that they don't sell their time one-to-one as well. But like, this is some of the most dangerous advice on LinkedIn, because the number of people that I speak to that are like, man, I posted for 6 months, I commented for 2 hours a day, I spent 4 hours creating carousel. I also did this from December 2022 till about May 2023. And then I realized, what the fuck is happening? Like, this is insane. Like, I'm not getting any emails. I'm getting all these likes and followers and dopamine. Like, I had a post that my first viral post got 200,000 impressions. And I was like, this is sick. It gets you reach. It's really good, but it ain't going to get you sales, especially if you don't talk to a lot of people. So the most dangerous advice, and why you're probably losing a ton of money, is like, you're following this curated feed, which is giving you information that you'd like to see, which is copywriters giving you copywriting advice. But what's actually happening is because you're not filling the other gaps within your sales process, because marketing and copywriting is part of a sales process. It's the same thing, because 99.99% of people on LinkedIn are selling a high ticket service. And when you're selling a high ticket service, you need to have a conversation with someone to sell it, unless you're fucking Elon Musk who wants to, take money for his Cybertrucks and people just pay him before even seeing it, right? You're not at that level of authority, and no one is, right? Even Ali Abdaal, if you look him up, the YouTuber, got 5 million subscribers, right? He sells a high ticket, a couple of £1,000 per month. You still book a meeting with a sales team. You can book buy online, but I doubt anyone does, because it doesn't matter the level of authority. When you're selling a high ticket, people need to have a discussion with another human, because they're making due diligence before purchasing. That's why playing the Justin Welsh game is very, very different. And for most people on LinkedIn, you shouldn't play the Justin Welsh game. You should be playing the high ticket game, which is much, much easier and much better. It's how we've been able to ramp up to $1.3 million a year in seemingly a very short period of time. But we're only like 10% of the way there. Like, we are like yuppies compared to what we should be. But just make sure you're not following this dangerous advice. Like, go back and look and see, have they had sales experience? And when did they start becoming a copywriter? And so if they were a freelancer, then they started creating content and they've been a content creator for 2 years, please do not follow their sales advice, because it's coming from a lens. They're coming from a place of good, right? They're trying to do the right thing, but they're actually leading you in the wrong direction. Find experienced people, and there's way better people on sales. Like, there's a guy called Josh Braun. Follow that guy. He's damn good at sales as well. Or John Barrows. these guys, right? They're way better than me at sales. Follow these people and mix up your feed, and don't let it come in with copywriters, because it's such dangerous advice if you're taking the advice of people who are unknowingly giving good advice, but inevitably they're actually under monetizing and they've got an inflated sense of ego because they got it early. And because their sales process is easier for them, so they tell you to make friends with people. And like, that's not how you do it. That's how they can do it, because it's completely different. Like when someone who has 150,000 followers launches a program and they've never sold anything before, of course they're going to sell people in. They're just going to instantly buy them. They've been following for a year. Of course they are going to pay a couple of grand. Doesn't matter. But like, you're in a different position than that person. And then that person is massively under monetizing. Massively. It's why Ryan Musselman, he was able to go from 13K to 95K per month in freaking 4 or 5 months. All I showed him how to do was like the DM sales process and how to create a high ticket offer, a scalable offer. I didn't even spend that much time with him. That's why I'm so excited for this 7-figure creators, of how like I just need to implement these fundamental things in their businesses. And like, I'm just super excited about it, which is insane. But anyway, guys, I hope you found value on this one. Just don't make the same mistake. I made this mistake. That's why I literally built this program, because I was so pissed off. That and a few other reasons as well. But like, don't make the same mistake. Don't follow the feed. Try and find actual salespeople. Follow their advice. Don't just take my word for it. Go out and find other people, other sales, and make sure your feed is mixed between different people. Anyways, guys, if you like this, subscribe to the podcast, or also join my newsletter, How to Make Money as a Creator, and also look at my LinkedIn content as well. Peace out. Catch you later.